Now, the last night, ITV's BAFTA-winning show, Long Lost Family, returned to our screens, this time focusing on people who were quite literally born without a trace.
And in tonight's episode, we'll hear the story of Rachel McArthur, who shortly after birth in 1969 was abandoned in a long-stay car park at London's Euston station and became known as the Euston baby.
And now, more than 50 years later, Rachel contacted the Long Lost Family team to try and get some of those answers she's been so desperately looking for. She joins us now. Lovely to see you this morning,
Hi.
Rachel.
Thank you.
Kat and I have watched this episode of Long Lost Family, and it is truly remarkable. I wonder how you feel about the fact that people are finally going to get to see it, because you must have filmed it a while back.
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. It's just such an amazing story to find out there were so many of us as well. You know, we're one of 12. But I think the thing that meant the most, that I had 2 full siblings. So that meant such a lot to me as well.
Well, come to the siblings, because the siblings thing is just one of the most exciting bits of it, of course.
Yes, lovely.
But tell us about your story. I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like a fairy tale, really, isn't it? We talk about babies being left at stations.
Call them foundlings.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that was actually your existence.
Yes, it was. So I think I was around 6 weeks old. And I got taken into care after I'd been found in the station. And at the time, my mum, my adoptive mum, she was running a children's home, and she had one space, and they phoned her and said, "Have you heard of the Euston baby? Would you like to come and meet her?" And that was it. My mum fell in love with me, and she adopted me after 12 months. We moved up to the Midlands, and I had an idyllic childhood, really. It was perfect. Little country village, ran the post office there. So it probably wasn't until I was about 7 or 8 that my mum had gradually introduced me into Paddington Bear.
Yeah. Phyllis, she did, didn't she? Because he was left at a train station.
And she told me one evening, I can still remember it, and she said that I'm just like Paddington Bear. And he was left in the station, and so were you. And I think at such a young age, you don't really realise what that meant until I got a bit older. And I think I'd questioned my brother, actually, rather than my mother. Do you have to be born to a mother, or are you just adopted? So I think there was a bit of a process as I was growing up, but it probably didn't really affect me until I was in my teens, when, you know, you understand, you know, what's happened to you, what the circumstances, you don't know what they were, and that doesn't sit well on your mind, especially when you're a teenager.
Yeah, of course.
So, but I had the support of my parents, the support of my family, and, you know, as I've gone on in life, I've been quite resentful to my birth mother. Didn't know her circumstances. And I think it probably wasn't until I'd given birth to my son, who's now 14, that I actually kind of came to terms a bit with how horrible it must have been to carry a baby for 9 months and then keep it for 6 weeks and then give it away, leave it. And that was it. I understand that she told nobody about my existence, so...
We know that now, don't we, of course, since you've been through the programme. But it took the birth of your son for you to sort of realise how painful that must have been.
Yeah, I sort of
how
came to terms with it, and I stopped being so angry at her and resentful. It's funny you mentioned the word foundling, because there was a series called Foundlings, and I used to watch that, and I used to get really angry watching it. Probably, you know, because it's so premeditated to leave a baby somewhere. It still goes on now.
Well, that was the moment when you went to Euston Station and you actually stood there and had that moment, and that moment of realisation of, you know, she was there with you 6 weeks, and she'd made the decision that that was what she was going to do, and she thought that was the best. So as you've kind of started to piece together the story, what did you find out about your birth mother?
She hadn't had a very good upbringing. No. I think she'd grown up in care with her... she was one of 4, so they all grew up in care. She had my older sister, Eileen, when she was 14. And then she's had me when she was 15, and we believe that she was living on the streets.
Right.
With Eileen and myself. So she then went on to have another child a year later, and that was Shane. And he was taken straight to social services, I believe, in Ireland, and was adopted.
So you suddenly find out about your mum, but and crucially, you find out about your siblings.
Yeah.
You've got a sister and a brother.
Yeah.
And then there's more siblings as well along the way that are half brothers or sisters or connected in some way. But you have these two brothers. What was that moment like when they told you had siblings?
I couldn't believe it. Just couldn't believe it. I always wanted a big family. And, you know, part of my thing, did I have more siblings? Was she still alive? Sadly, she's not. I'm not going to be able to meet her. But to find out that I have such a big family, and of course the age we are, where they've all had kids themselves.
So there's extended nieces and nephews,
lots to meet.
When you met, you had like an instantaneous kind of connection. I think we've got Eileen down the line now.
Because she's in Canada.
Good morning, Eileen. Good morning. Thank you so much for staying awake for us.
No problem.
Thank you. So how was this moment for you? Because it's an incredible moment in the show where you both walk into this room together and you hold and hold and hold each other and kind of don't let go.
It was amazing, actually, when I first found out about her, which was in November of last year. And I was told that I have a sister, but at first they thought I was just a half-sister, and did the DNA and found out we were full-blood sisters. And that was pretty amazing. So, when I met her, it was just, first I saw a picture of her, and we do look alike, so that was kind of neat. And when I met her, it was, I always felt like there was something missing in my life. And I at first thought it was Shane when I was told about Shane. That wasn't quite it. And then when I met Rachel, it just seemed like that was it. She was the one I was missing.
Yeah.
And didn't know about it, but...
Had your mum ever mentioned anything to you over the years, Eileen?
Nothing at all. So, she was... I think it was 2011 that I found out about Shane. And that was because Shane was trying to get a hold of our family, get a hold of us.
Yeah.
She felt like she was forced to tell me, but nothing. Nobody knew, not my aunt or anybody.
And did Rachel look like your mum when you saw her first time?
She does look like my mum. She's got similar eyes to my mum, sure.
And they look so similar
you do,
too.
Looking at the two of you as well, it's just amazing. I imagine you had so many questions for her, Rachel, when you first met.
Yeah, absolutely, loads. You know, when you're a foundling, it's one big thing that nobody looks like you. So it was just amazing to be able to look at, my sister and pictures and see people that look like me. It was just such a big thing for me.
And the most amazing thing now is you've got each other forever now.
Yeah.
And that connection will always now be there.
Yeah. Like I say, it's built. I always had that connection initially, but it's got stronger and stronger.
Well, look, we are thrilled that you came in to share your story.
You.
It's
delighted for you.
Thank you, Rachel. Eileen, thank you for staying up. You can go to bed now. I think it's about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. But it's lovely to see the two sisters side by side as well.
And you
peas
can
in a pod.
see the story tonight at 9 o'clock on ITV1. Thank you for visiting our This Morning YouTube channel. We upload new content every day, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. And we'll see you in the morning.